beautiful Sikha. Amen. I say that every year, Kodesh Pesach used to say, we're counting all the makkahs. It was 10 makkahs. It was really 50 makkahs. It was 250 makkahs. What's so the Gewalt? We're trying to say it was more makkahs than makkahs. It was 250 makkahs. What's the difference? So you would say, because it says, Kol machla shesamti b'mitzrayim le'osim alecha, thank you, K'ani Hashem reifecha. Reifecha. That the Eivisha says, all the makkahs that I gave to the Egyptians, I'm not going to give to you. So we're trying to push in as much as, give me another name. Another disease, you know of another disease, let's put it in. The Egyptians had that too. So we could say that can come to the Jews. Knockout Sikha from the Rebbe today, as usual. Pshuta Shamikra, we're on a run this year on Rashi's and Pshuta Shamikra, and it's basically going through some of the 101s on the makkahs, and it's focusing on the fourth makkah, which probably the most, for sure the most colorful makkah in the colorful in the coloring books and in the colorful Haggadahs with the pictures, the lions and the bears and the leopards and the crocodiles and the Arov. The fourth makkah is the most colorful makkah by far, and sounds like the most exciting ones as far as the Jews are concerned. It's the most exciting as far as the Jews are concerned for another reason, as you'll soon see. Quite interesting reason. Several reasons. And the Rebbe has Moedik Chedushim. First, let's dive straight into the Pshuta Shal Mikra. We'll learn the Chumash, then the Rashi. We'll learn the Medrash Tanchuma, and then the Medrash Rabbah, and then we'll get to the Sikha. So we have a lot of work. Okay. Very much wake up early in the morning. Abisha tells him the secret in the morning. He goes out over there to the bathroom. Go meet him over there in the morning when he goes out to the water. That's Arov. If you're not going to send my nation out of Egypt, I'm going to do something to you and to your servants and to your nation and to your house. I'm going to fill them with the Arov, and they'll fill the houses of Mitzrayim. V'gam adom Hashem aleh. V'fleisi b'yom I will separate that day as Eretz Goshen, the land of Goshen, Asher Amei Doim Aleh, where my nation stands. Levilte Yosham Arov, there will be no Arov there. Laman Tedek Ene Hashem Ekerev Aretz, you will know I'm the God in the land. Samte Pedus Ben Ami Ben Amecha, there will be a divide between my nation and your people. That the Jews will not suffer from the Arov, the Jews will not be hurt by Arov, and the Egyptians will.
Isn't that a given? Isn't that a given?
Till I learned to Sikh, I always thought it was a given. It's a big machloikas at Yishayim, and that Advad says it's chas v'shalom to believe that the Ibn Ezra is right.
Right.
And the Rebbe thinks you're a fool if you think that the Ibn Ezra is wrong. So let's get into it. It's every year when I learn this, I always say, it's like, you answer for yourself. It was like, the fourth Makkah, they're telling us that the Jews were different than the Egyptians. But we know from the coloring books that we learned when we were in pre-1A in first grade that could you pass it over? Sure. We know from the coloring books that the Jews never suffered of any of the makkahs, right? I mean, you probably learned that also pre-1A, like I did. But the Jews drank the water, and the Egyptians. Let's get to it, because in Pshuta Shemikra, every time you learn this, you wonder. But what happened? The first makkah the Jews didn't suffer. The second one they didn't suffer. The third one they didn't suffer. And the fourth one, Moshe Rabbeinu wakes up to tell us, and the Eibishter wakes up to tell us, the Jews are not suffering of the makkahs, only the Egyptians are. But why didn't you mention it to the first one, the second one, the third one? So we'll get to that. It's a big machloikas between the Ibn Ezra, the Radvaz, the Rambam, and Rashi. Let's continue reading. Hashem came Orov, covered base of party, there came a big Orov. Ubeis Avodov, Uvachol Eretz Mitzrayim, to Shochas Orov from their Orov. The land was being ripped apart from the Orov. He called to Moshe and Aaron, go to make a zevach to your God. we're gonna take the God of the Egypt and slaughter it in front of their eyes, and they're not gonna stone us. We're gonna go 3 days into the desert. He says, you know what? I will let you go. Don't go far and pray for me. I will pray to God, but he says you have 3 strikes behind you. Stop making a hustle. Stop making a joke here. Every time you say, okay, you can be a good boy, and when the makkah goes away, you're a bad boy. So, enough. Moshe goes out, he prays to Hashem, even one wasn't left. The Medrash says, and Rashi also brings it, what's the emphasis of the pasuk? Loy nishar echad, that if even one of the vicious animals stayed behind, the Egyptians would have benefit from it. A lion. You have the skin. You have an elephant. You have the tusk. You have a trophy. You have a lot of benefits. So the Eibishter made a miracle that not one animal, alive or dead, remained in Egypt. Okay. This is the story of Arov. Rashi says, Mashlich becha. Rashi says it means megara becha. Will tease onto you. And it says v'shem behemas ashalach bom. And the pasuk says that the tooth of the behemoth I will tease onto them. Loshen shisui, which is like instigate, instiir, belaz in Old French. Esa Arov, Rashi quotes the words Esa Arov. Kol mini chayes ros, all kinds of vicious animals, nechoshim, snakes, vakrabim, and scorpions. Birvuvia, they were all mixed together. And they were killing the Egyptians, or biting them, ripping them apart. V'yesh tam be agoda, v'yesh tam lezeh ba'agoda. Kol mako lo mazu v'lo mazu. Every maka, why this one and why this one? He came like with the tactics of war. Some words like from different languages, but they sound tactics. Tactics of war. Like a kingdom when they go they go against a city, to circle a city. They ruin the waters of the city. And then they blow trumpets. To have them, that's the first tactic of war, is right that the first thing is to have your enemy shake in fear. That's the most important thing in war, to have your enemy shake in fear. That was the whole thing of the Tzfardim, that they were making a lot of noise. That's the Rashi. As usual, it seems like a simple Rashi. The Rebbe will eke out 24 questions on this Rashi. But let's first look at the Medrash. Rashi's quoting from the Medrash Tanchuma and from the Medrash, which is the Medrash Rabbah. So let's look at the Medrash Rabbah and the Medrash Tanchuma. Medrash Tanchuma. Rabbi Yochanan Marsov, our sages say, "Ketaksin shel malachim." Hevi HaKadosh Baruch Hu lemas hamakas. The Eibishter did the techniques of kings. Melech basav adam k'shemedin meredes alav v'shalech al legionos makifenoisa. When they rebel against him, a country that they had a confederacy. Many countries under, like the United States, was part of the United Kingdom. When a country rebels, he sends the legions and they surround it. But he ruins their water. He brings the soldiers. They don't get scared. They start shooting at them. He keeps on doing worse and worse. He came with the same techniques. First he took the water, and he ruined their water. He brought the legions of the Tzfardeim. They made a lot of koilas. I underlined these words just because later it will be important in our discussion. I mean, obviously the Medrash Tanchuna doesn't have any underlines. I underlined it because you'll later see why I underlined it. In other words, according to Rabbi Yosef Chanina, as nasty as the Tzfardeim were, jumping into people's foods and into their stomachs,
the noise was worse.
The noise was worse than anything.
Wow.
The noise, we're talking this morning in the morning share about the noise, the neighbor's noise. Yeah. The noise was worse than anything. Okay, we'll get to that soon. The arrows are like the kinim, which were very painful, like kinim adam mehema, hoy nechnasim gofen shel mitzrim kechitzim, loy chazru, hevel barbarim ze Arov, the barbarians. Shenam yishal b'm Arov, loy chazru durmasi ze devet, v'horges mikneim. Their cattle died. Loy chazru hevel neft ze shchin. It's like throwing in them kerosene. Ve'shchin ababuz parech bon. Loy chazru shlechlem avli b'ristras, throwing cannons on them. Ze aboret loy chazru. It's like getting the legions against them, which is the Arab. Put them in the jails. He started killing the big ones of them, which is the everything the Egyptians thought to do against the Jews, the God did to them. Whatever they thought they're going to do, they're going to use out the Jews as slaves. God punished them eye for an eye. They're going to... They would first they're going to work in the land. He made that the land should be kinim and kepat godud, that they're going to be working for them. If a Mitzi had 5 children, so he had as much servants and maids as he wanted from the Jews. He had a lot of Jewish servants. Each servant had to take care of one of his kids. Each one of his kids were eaten up by another animal, a different type of animal. Lion ate one, the wolf ate the other, the bear ate the other, the tiger ate another one, and swooped down from the sky a eagle and ate up the last child from the Egyptian. They thought the Jews will work as shepherds for them. They should kill their cattle. The Jews will cook their hot water. They thought that they're going to, whenever the Jews didn't work enough, they'll throw at them stones. That the Jews will make vineyards for them. The Arba ate up their vineyards. It's called they thought they would put the Jews in the jail. They were in the jail. It says, interesting thing. Before Mashiach comes, all the 10 Makkahs are going to be repeated. It's fascinating. Okay, now I gave you 2 pages, so look at the second page. Thank you very much.
That?
Huh?
Do you understand that literally?
Or maybe things that are similar to that. Just like the Medrash says, like similar things.
So I thought that the nature was above nature, when Mashiach's going to come, it's going to be within nature.
According to this Medrash not. According to this Medrash not. That's different Medrash. Second Medrash is Medrash Rabbah. Hashkem Aboikem HaKadosh Baruch Hu Moshe Arash Azeh Hikshas Liba B'Shloisha Rishainis. The first 3 Makkahs, his heart was very hard. Makkah Revi is Koshi Yosel Rishainis. I'll give the 4th Makkah that's going to be even harder than all the other Makkahs. The Makkah Revius. Lech v'hazerois, k'day she'ishlach ami, v'lo tov v'yolo v'Makkah. Ki meinchem v'shalech zem hine me'ashlach bach, v'eichem ba'aleim, yesh emenim alamayla v'shem alamata. Where did the animals come from? Some say they came down, jumping from, they come from under the ground. It's like a funny medrash of where they're coming from. One say they came jumping from the, like miraculous. Like animals that started flying from the sky. Others say they started coming down from under the ground. It's like all that. We keep it from both directions. You ganged up against my kids, I will get the animals to gang up against you. In that it's Goshen, she saw Yoshim, in that it's Goshen, there wasn't Arif. Shem, if Leisa Bema said it's Goshen. Amr Baden Ami said, Ka'adam Shem L'Chavedo, Lo Yitl Ploini Betarkoi Zusha Ploini Patrun Aleinu. Gesamte Beduz Ben Ami Malam Chesro Loim Lilkes Bazamaka. And also Kadosh Baruch Hu B'Yonim HaMetzirim, Afal HaSalava, Kadosh Baruch Hu Maybe, Avikacham Mazal, Sakad Moinim, Mashlichem L'Toich, Gehenim Tachas Yisrael, Kehani Hashem, Lokech Kadosh Yisrael, Mashiach, Menasati, Kofrecha, Mitzrayim, Kush, V'Svo, Tachtecha. Before Mashiach will come, will be a similar thing. There will be Jews that won't deserve. They won't deserve. They won't deserve. But the Eibush is going to do one big kaporis. No wonder why these people are against the kaporis. They're onto something. They're onto something. But before Mashiach comes, the Eibush is going to say, for every Jew that's undeserving, someone has to go in Gehenna. We'll chap up a goy that deserves. We'll chap up as one of those bad goyim, and we'll put him in the Gehenna instead of the Jews. Vayas Hashem came, Vayavi Aret Kovet Beis Pari, Huloka, Tchila Shu Yischel Veitzero Tchila. Shenemer Vayitzah Pari, Vachech Beis Avodah. Because it was his Eitzah first, the animals attacked his house first. Vikir Pari Vim Lovashla Nachalas came Lifni Lefisha Mitzrayim Mishtachim Lebehemes Kelaka. As I said before, the Moshe said we can't do Karbonas here in Mitzrayim, because the Egyptians will stone us. Derash Lashem Neilach Lovidu Kedela Tois Lamapari. Necha Shalchatz Lamem Moshe Hine Necha Yoitzim Machmao Hine Tfilat Miyad Kedeshos Aror Memcho Mocha. He said, I'm going to pray today that tomorrow they'll go away. Vayetze Moshe Vayas Hashem Kedar Moshe. Ve'osa Arov Lo Mehevelem Arov Lafisha is Oyemerim Lisrot So Vilan Dubim Varois and the Morim Kedelis Metzirim Behem. They used to tell the Jews that they have to go capture for them these animals, which is impossible. And they used to demand that the Jews would do it. So Abraham said, you know what? I'll bring it to you free of charge.
Was busy work?
Yeah. No, it wasn't Dubi Marois in the morning. Minute Seroim Viatushim. So there's two shittas. What's the Chayas Roas? These huge, like the big seven came from Africa, came pouncing, from the lower plains of Africa all the way. They came running all the way up from Zimbabwe to the Nile. Or is it that there was just Tzarim V'Yatushim came out of the Nile? From the V'Nidid Dvarim Sharab Yehuda, the first opinion makes sense as the Medrash. L'Fishabat Tzvadim, Ksiva Yamasat Tzvadim, L'Fishabat Anom Beresem, Avalorov Shayahora Anom Beresem, L'Fikach L'Nishim Madecha, Shilu Tzarim V'Yatushim Herlam Shasrichu. Because it says, the pasuk says that by the order of Lo Nishim Echad, not even one state, Abraham made a miracle that they all disappeared, so they shouldn't enjoy the skin. If you say, like the first opinion says, the Medrash of Yehuda, that there was the big seven came up from Africa, the lion, the rhinoceros, the tiger, the elephants. Versteh, they have to disappear. Otherwise, you have a tusk, you have a skin, you have a trophy, you have a lion, you have a tiger, you have an eagle. But if it's tzarim v'yatushin, mosquitoes, what do you have? If the dead mosquito, what's it? Fakir. So therefore, the Medrash likes the first opinion better. Okay. Just wanted to give you the length of breath because Rashi is quoting from the Medrash and from the Medrash Tanchuma. And as I said in the discussion in the Pshuta Shemikra, everything will be negay.
Yeah, but if the dust could become light,
yeah,
if the frogs could suddenly quadruple and to the millions,
so the animals could find stuff from the sky or from under the ground.
If a matek could become a snake, so what's the big deal?
Okay, so you're asking good questions. Let's look again at Rashi and just comb through the Rashi and try to find the pshat in the words of Rashi, and then through this you find what's the story behind the story in the Makkah of Arov. Let's start again. Rashi says, Mashlich becha, megare becha. He will tease onto you. V'chein b'shem behemes hashalach bam, loshen shisui. Instigate, balaz. Instir, whatever. Old French. Why couldn't Rashi say, Mashlich bach will send to you? So the Pashtos, because grammatically, it doesn't make sense to say Mashlich Bach will send to you. In the beginning of the pasuk, it says Im Einoch Mishaleach Es Ami. So three things the Rebbe says. It should say. It says here Hineni Mashlich. It just the words don't go. It should say Mishaleach. And also, when you want to say I will send a cup of water to you, I will send water to you. That's how you say it. Over here it says, it should say Mashlich es ha'orev bach. But it says no, Hineni Mashlich b'cha u'bevatecha es ha'orev. Just the choice of words doesn't go good. And also if you want to say it's Maloshen Shlichus, Mashliach lecha, Mashliach elecha. Therefore Rashi learns that over here the word mashliach doesn't mean meloshen shlichus like in the beginning. If you will not send my nation out of your country, so the consequence will be hineni mashlich bach. Mashlich doesn't mean I will send. Mashlich means I will tease. I'm magada bach. I will tease onto you these animals. I will tease the animals onto you. That's why Rashi also is meduyik. He quotes the words Mashlich Becha because that's the diuk that he has. That it's not Loshen Shlichus, but it's Loshen Megara. Loshen Megara. And then Rashi brings also a raya for this. And what's the raya Rashi brings? Because it says in the pasuk, Shem Behemes Hashalach Bom. But for it's a little shver. First of all, there's a pasuk that says earlier, Mechukoise, Vishlachti Bachem Es Chayes Asoda. First of all, it's an earlier pasuk, and over there it's talking about Chayes. And also, like, why does Rashi have to say so many words? Loshen Shisui, Instir, Belaz. He said, Megada Becha. Megada, the Altis Gorba Melchama. The word Megada is brought many times in the Chamisha Chumash Torah. The Loshen Shisui, once in Yeshaya, Lemeshisa, Yaakov, it's not a word that the child knows. And you see the fact that the child doesn't know the word in Hebrew is evident by the fact that Rashi is using a word in French. When in the child that's learning in Chumash by Rashi, we assume knows simple Hebrew. That's why Rashi doesn't translate it to French, only unique words which are like, above the 250 word limit that the kid knows. Like you have to open up a dictionary.
Or if you had the same word.
Milon Ivri Tzarfati. Milon Ivri Tzarfati. So the regular 250 words the kid knows. A little bit of more count. So why is Rashi? What's the difference between Megore and Meshasa? And why Rashi bring Dafka this posik and then he brings a word in French? Okay, let's continue. Rashi quotes the word Es Ha'orev. Tease, not only tease, it also means like yeah.
Oh, okay.
Say that again? Yeah, exactly.
You have a dog and you want the dog to bite somebody.
Right.
So what do?
You sick him on it.
Right.
Something.
Exactly. That's it. Exactly. That's the word probably in French. Instir. It's like, it sounds almost like instigate. Es ha'orev. Rashi says, Kol mine chayes roes, u'nechoshim v'akravim. So the fact that Rashi doesn't want to get involved in the machloikis, if it was dubim v'aroyis, okay, you can understand. Rashi says, I'm not sure Pshuta Shemikra was a dubim v'aroyis, or was it an elephant and a cheetah, or was it a lion and a tiger? I don't know. Chayes roes, you're safe. But why does Rashi have to add nechoshim v'akravim? Stay neutral, say chayes roes. If you're not sure, Machloikis in the Medish, which type of vicious animals, you want to stay clear. Why does Rashi have to stick in also Nechoshim v'akravim? Chayes roz means all kinds of, and plus he adds Nechoshim v'akravim, like it's funny. It's funny. And then Rashi says,
Rashi wants to say Vildechayis.
and then Rashi says, V'yesh tam ba'agoda. Rashi says, Yesh tam ba'agoda. What happened? That Rashi all of a sudden, the first three Makkahs, that Rashi said nothing. And the fourth Makkah, that Rashi realizes, oh, what's Taka, the order of the Makkahs? It's Tachsis Melchama. Why didn't Rashi say anything till now? So the Meforshim, there's a lot of pshatim, but one of the pshatim, the Rebbe slugs them all up, but we'll talk about one of them. That the Rashi already said a pshat for each one of the first three, and if Rashi didn't say it, it's obvious. Rashi says by Dam, that Mitzrayim were their oivdim lenilus, lefikach hilkas yirosam achkach hilka oisam. The Eibishter wanted to hit their God first, to show them that their God is powerless. Their God was the Nilus, therefore God hit the Nilus first. Tzfardeya is also hitting the Nilus. Shorat hayoir tzfardeya. Rashi already said that Moshe couldn't hit the water, not for Dam and not for Tzfardeya, for both. Why? Because Shlfisha Hagen on Moshe, because the water protected Moshe, so he couldn't hit the water. So the first two is really to hit the pride of the Egyptians, which comes from the Nile, their Avodah Zarah. And the third, Rashi doesn't have to say, it's the pasuk says, Etzba Elokimhu. The Khartoumim were able to mimic the first and the second, maybe not in the same scale, but they were able to mimic the first and the second Makkah, but they couldn't mimic the third, and they said Etzba Elokim. So the first three we know, but the fourth Makkah we don't know. So Mitlamor Rashi says, oh, Tachsis Melchama. But it's like a strange thing. So Rashi regrets what he said in the first three. But the Rashi said already a reason for the first three Makkahs. So is it Rashi was choizen on the first three? And the funny thing is that Rashi explains, well, Dam Tzfardeya, but he doesn't explain Arov. Why don't you explain Arov? The Medrash Tanchuma explains the Arov. And the Tanchuma and the Medrash, a mashal with an Egyptian with 5 sons and the whole thing, and they deserved it, was an eye for an eye. But if Rashi wants to explain Arov, and he's very long on Dam Tzfardeya, and he doesn't explain Arov, it's like weird. If you want to explain Arov, and you bring it from the Medrash, explain the Arov. And within Dam and Tzfardeya, Rashi explains the Tzfardeya very well, the Moshel and the Nimshel, and he doesn't explain Dam. Like, what's going on? It's as if Rashi was 4 o'clock in the morning, he was very tired, and he was writing his pshat. Kin meduber, like as we said many times, at Chas v'Sholom, to say that was a pshat. So what is really the pshat? Why is it that if he really came to explain Arov, and he says from the Medrash, this is Tachsis Melchama, but the Medrash says why Arov is part of Tachsis Melchama, and Rashi doesn't. He only brings down Tzfardeya, and he explains Barichas only Tzfardeya. Why? Okay, and then there's why Rashi quotes Esa Arov, and okay. So what's the biur? So the biur the Rebbe says is Poshet. Why does he quote Medrash and also Medrash and Tanchuma? Every Makkah, Moshe Rabbeinu tells Pare what's the Makkah. He tells him, he tells it's going to be blood, you don't have what to drink, the place is going to stink. Either in the words from the Eibishter to Moshe or Moshe to Pare. The Torah doesn't have to repeat everything 6 times. If the Eibishter told it to Moshe, obviously Moshe told it to Pare. If the Eibishter told it to Pare, he didn't make it up on his own. So sometimes the narrative is this way or that way, but either way, he lays it out and he says what the Makkah is going to be. He says, B'cho, B'amcha, Rashi says, B'toich me'im, Nechnosim, Mekarkerin. He lays it out. He tells them what the Makkah is. Here, he not only doesn't lay out what the Makkah is, he doesn't even say, Arov. Chazal tell us it's animals. Arov means irbuvia, a mix-up of maybe of orange juice and apple juice. A mix-up of what? The Torah doesn't even say what. A mix-up. I keep on talking about the mix-up. Mix-up of what? Torah doesn't once say animals. Doesn't once say that they're going to bite. Once that they're going to rip someone up. The Torah doesn't explain what the Makkah is. You read the whole 10 psukim, and not once does the Torah explain what happened. If without the Meforshim, you wouldn't know what's going on. Rashi is a Meforish, and he wants to say Pshuta Shel Mikra. So therefore, Rashi right away zones in on the words Es Ha'orev. Es, the extra word Es Ha'orev. That the main Makkah here was the Irbuvia. And Rashi starts off like this. That's why Rashi starts off. Mashliach boch. Rashi has a few words that mashliach doesn't mean lashon shlichus. It means to tease, to like you do with a dog or with a vicious animal against a person, to instigate him to bite or to kill another person. So right away when it says mashliach becha, before the Eibishter says Arov, you know it's animals. Who do you do it with? When if before you say the word Arov, it says mashliach becha, and that means megada. And Rashi says not only megada. Megada, what do you mean megada? If you bring vicious animals, if it's a behema, you have to be megada the behema. But if you bring vicious animals, you don't have to be megada them. If you want a cow to bite someone, you have to train it because cows are peaceful animals. So the Taka Chazal say b'shem behemes hashalach bom. It's a miracle kvar hoya beret Yisrael that there was a chamor noishech and people died. It's an unusual thing. Chamor doesn't usually noishech. A behem is not usually noishech. A peaceful animal. So it has to be. It's a makkah shem behemes hashalach bom. But if you're going to bring lions and leopards and you let them loose in the middle of Avenue J, you don't have to. A dog, you have to be meshasa. So therefore, Rashi adds also. He says that's not stam a regular gidu. It was shisui. The wild animals are wild, but they kill one person and they're quiet. But here the Eibushat say tzeretz. They went and they ripped apart one Egyptian, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. One Mitzi had 5 children. They were. It's like they wouldn't stop. That's what. So now we know what's happening. Before the word Arov, mashlich boch means megada, and not stam megada, but balosha mishasa. So the Eibushat was mishasa. Who are you mishasa? You're mishasa chayes ros, vicious animals. Rashi says es ha'orev kol mine chayes ros v'nachoshim birbuvia. The main thing of this makkah was the idea of irbuvia, that the animals came not just one kind of animals, that they all came birbuvia. That was the main theme. The miracle. Usually if you have animals, first of all, the animals fight with each other. Here, all the animals came, and they didn't stick with each other. The lion and the bear, they were all buddies, and they were all against the Egyptians. The irbuvia part of the makkah was the miracle. And that's why Rashi doesn't want to get involved. Was it bears? Was it lions? Was it leopards? You have to be... how do you know which animal? To say that the animals came from Zimbabwe to Egypt would be another miracle. The miracle here that the Torah emphasized was Arov. Arov means irbuvia. The fact that they came as an Eruv. Which animals? Whatever local animals there were. Why say that the animals came flying from the sky from under the earth? Why, like the Medrash, why be mechadish new things? I don't know. Chayes ros. Rashi only emphasizes that there was also Nechoshim v'akrabim. Why? Because the Pasuk says, the Eibushat says, Ke'encha meshalechas am hinu meshalech b'chov avadecha v'amcha v'atechas Arov u'moli bot Mitzrayim es Arov v'gam ha'adam ha'shem Allah. Not only would the animals fill the houses, they will also fill the ground. What does it mean they're going to fill the ground? How does animals fill the ground? A lion goes into the basement and starts making a hole in the ground. Therefore, Rashi says, just like the houses were filled with chayes ros, there are certain animals that go under the ground. Which animals are they? Nechoshim v'akravim. Just like the houses of the Egyptians were filled with vicious animals, also the ground was filled with vicious animals. Nechoshim v'akravim. Just like above ground there was an irbuvia of all kinds of animals, also underground there was an irbuvia of all kinds of underground animals. Like Rashi says, underground animals in that part of the world is mainly Nechoshim v'akrabim. That's what Rashi says, Nechoshim v'akrabim.
Still today, there's Hamas making tunnels underground.
Now these are the animals. These are exactly. These are the Nechoshim v'akrabim. Exactly. So now Rashi wants to explain what's taka so special about this irbuvia. What's this thing? The whole specialty of Arov is that there was a buvia, that the animals, they all came mixed together.
Like they didn't eat each other.
Right, there would be a buvia.
That's a miracle
So
also.
that was the miracle. So what's a zoy gewalt? The buvia. Therefore Rashi says that there's a medrash. Why can't he say Pshuta Shel Mikra? Because in Pshuta Shel Mikra he already said for the first, second, and third Makkah why there was. It was to hit their gods. But so therefore he can't say this is Pshuta Shel Mikra. But according to the medrash, who says that Tachsis Milchama, the Medrash emphasizes that the main thing in Tachsis Milchama is to make your enemy shake in the boots. He should be scared. To put fear into the heart of your enemy. That big talk, on that trumpet blowing. And that's why that's why Rashi emphasizes that the Tzfardim were makarkering. And that's why Rashi says, look at Medrash Tanchuma. The Rebbe says it could be that the Iker was because the Medrash Tanchuma emphasizes Kirkurim hayakoshe ashchasosam. Even though many of the frogs jumped into their stomach, that was a big ashchosa. You imagine a live frog in your stomach?
Oh.
But that's not fun. But the Medrash Tanchuma says what was worse was the noise. The noise, they couldn't live with the noise. The noise will give out. Because the noise made such a behola. It made a behola. So Rashi is saying that Arov was 10 times Tzvardeim. Arov, that when you have a certain type of animal, maybe you could figure out how to deal with it. But all of a sudden, from all sides came all kinds of different animals, Be'er Buvia, that created an unbelievable behola. Behola. Yira. Fach. How would you translate behola?
Scary.
Chaos, right. Chaos.
Scary.
So that's what the Eibishter wanted, that there should be this pachadnas behola among the Egyptians. And that's what Rashi is saying. Dr. Rebbe, now with this we can understand there's a big machloikis in the Rishonim about Amakas. The Evan Ezra said, so first of all, now we understand the Hemshech just in Rashi. What's going on in Rashi? Rashi starts off Mashliach B'cho. Mashliach doesn't mean shlichus. As we explained before, Barichus, it means to be Magara. And not Stam Magara, it means Veloshin Shisui. And Esa Orev, who are you Magara? Vicious animals. But what's the main thing of the Makkah? Was Orev, that they were mixed together, all kinds of animals. Birbuvia. V'yesh Tam Bagoda. Why did they come by Birbuvia? Because that's the Seder Milchama, that first you blow trumpets, liyidimo b'holam, v'chein atzfardim mekarkim, ki isim Medrash Tanchuma, the Medrash Tanchuma says, kirkurim koshem ashchasosam. Okay. That's what Rashi says, v'chulu. There's a machloikis between the Rishonim, what happened, because the fourth market says that the Jews did not suffer and the Egyptians did. But what happened with Dam Tzvadei Akinim? As I said before, we all know, we learned in pre-1A, first grade, coloring books. We know exactly what happened the first 3 makas from the coloring books. But Ibn Ezra says that the coloring books are wrong. Some Madrashim say that way, but he says the Pashtos. Read the Torah, he says. They suffered together. The 4th makkah was a Chiddush. Samti pedus ben ami yamecha. Mochi yoisazeh. The 4th makkah, the Eibishter said, that's it. The vicious animals are going to go against the Egyptians. Not one Jew will be hurt. Not one Jew will be bit. Goyshim will be clean, and Egypt will be full with their buvia of animals. But the first 3 makkahs, Dam Tzvadei Akinim, the Jews suffered. There's a long tshuva from the Radvaz, and the Radvaz says, Osur laham and David zeh. The Radvaz says you're not allowed to believe what the Ibn Ezra says. He says, how can you? He says, first of all, think about it. Why would God punish the Jews? What did the Jews do wrong? And if the Jews are going to suffer, what's Potter going to say? It's not against me.
It's against your own people.
It's against the Jews too. And that's not the way it sounds from the Psukim. It says that the Mitzrayim was Vayachpru, Mitzrayim Sove Vayaor, Mashma that the Mitzrayim was Vayachpru, not the Israelim. That's the Advaz.
Ezra has something to base the kingdom on, is on the Jews. It says earlier that Yaakov Avinu said, don't bury me here.
Because I don't want to here. It's a good raya.
So
yeah, it's a good raya.
Were against the land. That the land shouldn't be attractive to the Yidden either.
And the Rambam says, on Pirush Mishnah, that the Mishnah says, So the Rambam says, what were the 10 miracles? The 10 miracles were that the 10 makkahs that happened to the Egyptians, the Jews were spared from it. But the Rambam has a problem because he says that the pasuk says, "Vahi akinim ba'odma behema," that the kinim were by all human beings, and it's mashma also by the Jews. Ba'odam uba behema. So he says, could be the pshat is that the Jews also had lice, but the lice weren't bothering the Jews as much as the Egyptians.
It's a little bit hard because
Yeah.
Odom is only Yid.
I'm saying it's like they have a problem. So the Rebbe says that he doesn't understand why the Radvaz says it's also to believe it. If Rashi doesn't say a word, and in Pshuta Shamikra, it sounds like the blood was there for everyone. And the Tzvardeim were there for everyone, and the Kinim were there for everyone. And Rashi would say something. If Rashi's policy, see something, say something, do something. That's Rashi's policy. Rashi is if Pshuta Shamikra, you have to tell the child. If Rashi doesn't say, is that he does nothing to say. So why is it really? So the emes says it's not a pella, because the first 2 makkahs was to kill, to hit the gods of the Egypt. If the Eibishter would not hit the waters in the entire Egypt, so Pari would say, the lower delta that's a weaker god. The higher delta, he's a strong god. So that's why the Eibishter had to hit the entire, make blood in the entire Mitzrayim. Same thing that Tzvardeim. Tzvardeim made the Boa Shayor. It should stink the waters. Again, the lower waters where the Egyptians were, that stunk. And the higher where you'd say, the lower god is the weaker god. There are many gods, isn't that one god? So they turned the Nile into 2 gods. The same thing Kinim. Kinim was to prove the Etzba Elokim. So they'd say, you see, they got it over here, they couldn't get it there. The Eibishter wanted to prove that it's Etzba Elokim. So it makes sense why only the 4th makkah, which was a buvia of animals, and the whole the tachlis was to sow fear. That was the first 3 makkahs first 2 makkahs was to kill their god, to show that their god was powerless. The 3rd makkah was to show Etzba Elokim. The 4th makkah was to start hurting them. And the Jews don't have to get hurt. That's why the 4th makkah was only the Egyptians and not the Yidden. The Rebbe has more the kavod.
It says by power that he says Li Yov and Estini. This is it. So when we come to shul, we come to daven, we don't go to make tzrochim in a place. If you God is the Yod, over here you're going to make the tzrochim, like it makes no sense.
So you have
what kind of clip is this?
You have the what's it called, the base power, where they go to the bathroom over there. No,
They used to have public bathrooms,
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Fill up the yo.
The Rebbe has another word. So again, I just want to summarize. So Pshuta Shel Mikra, we finished the Rashi. That Rashi has this thing about Irbuvia. The main miracle was the Irbuvia. And where did the Eibishter tell about the Inyan of the Makkah? The main words is Mashliach Becho, which means Begada Becho, Meshasa Becho, which obviously has to mean animals. And Arov means that those animals that I already mentioned are going to become Birbuvia. And why Birbuvia? Because that's going to make fear in their hearts. And that's Tachsis Milchama. And that's only a medish, but Pshut Shemikah, the first 3 makkahs came to show Etzba Elokim, and that's why the first 3 were affected also the Jews. The Rebbe, that year when the Rebbe spoke to Sikha, the Rebbe Koch Mi Yehuda, as I said, everything the Rebbe had a pshat why the Mi Yehudi. As a moira de kavort, the Rebbe said. When the Eibishter said that all the animals are now, usually there is a divide between animals. Between the lions and the tigers and the bears and the eagles, and they prey on each other, right? So there's a big divide. The tiger protects its cubs, but will kill the other animal of prey, smaller animal of prey. But now the animals was birbuvia. There was no divide between one and the other animals. So have amina that now everyone is birbuvia. The Eibishter wanted to show that even though all living things that were created in the 6th day of creation are birbuvia, but even though it's before Matan Torah, the Jews are never birbuvia with the Goyim. Because now the Eibishter took away the divide between one animal and the other animal. All the Chayas Roas came birbuvia. That's the word Orev. The word Orev doesn't mean vicious animals. It's a misconception. Orev doesn't mean vicious animals. Dom means blood. Tzvadea means frog. Kinim means lice. And Arov means irbuvia. Irbuvia. The animals, yeah, obviously there came animals. The word Arov means irbuvia. They came mixed together. So you would think that the Eibush should decide, okay, that everything that was created now on day 6 is birbuvia. The Eibush wanted to emphasize that a Jew is a Jew. The worst Jew, even the Jew that later died in Sheshis Yemei Afela, and the Jew that didn't want to go out in Egypt, and Dosam Vavidam, they didn't want to go out of Egypt. They wanted to be, could you imagine how kind of Nebuch Jew this is? A Jew that wants to be a slave by the Egyptians. What can the Rachmanis Nebuch, what can the Jew that is? A Jew that wants that the Goy should be stronger than him.
Syndrome.
Exactly. What's called that? Stockholm syndrome, right. Rachmana litzlan, the Jew that wants... Yes, exactly. So could you imagine what kind of Jew this is? But the Eibishter wanted to... so when they died was later, by Choshech, but now was not the time for them to die. Now was the time to show that the worst Jew, Alpha B'Shachot Yisrael, who is a Jew, and the best Egyptian is an Egyptian. And there's a pedus, there's a divide between my nation and your nation. To show that even though the animals are coming, Be'ir Buvia, but Yidden stand separate from the Goyim. Yidden stand separate from the Goyim. And that's the Atzlocha of Klal Yisrael. Unfortunately, not much changed from when the Rebbe spoke to Sikha. Recently there was a study showing that by a big margin, the majority of people today making Aliyah are halachically not Jewish. There was a story just 3 weeks ago. All in all. Could be people coming. In general, yeah. There was a study, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing in Rachmana litzlan. And what's worse, the political impasse that's now in Israel, I mentioned this many times, is unfortunately because of all these goyim that are now in Israel. A Jew, even if even they're called secular, but he understands a Jew is a Jew. It's a different thing. They could, but a goy, a Russian goy, he wants a kratzmach. Why is a goy? He's a goy. Or a neo-Nazi, he's a German, he's a goy. He's a goy. You want him to understand the yeshiva bachim are going to learn yeshivas? You're crazy. You understand the story that we're going to the yeshiva bachim will learn. It's how we protected. He's a Nazi, Rachmana litzlan. Exactly.
The real issue
the opposite.
The lack of derech eretz. When you go in the street there, how people treat one another. It's no longer a big klal.
But this erbuvia between Yidden and Goyim is a terrible thing. And we see from the first strong makkah that the Eibishter said, I want to show the world. It was a miracle, this unbelievable miracle. Vicious animals, Aroyas and the Maidim, Neshorim, Akrabim and Nechoshem Akrabim, they attack people. Not one Jew was attacked, and the Egyptians were attacked. It was an unbelievable miracle. The Eibishter made this miracle to show that even though there is an irbuvia among the animals, but among human beings, Gevula Samti, you can't. The Eibishter said, I made, just like the animals, all of a sudden a lion and a tiger won't attack each other. And all the animals will be birbuvia, but the human beings, there's a divide between all human beings and the Jews. These, they don't mix. The water and the oil, they don't mix. Impossible, they don't mix. That was the Gewalt of this Makkah, to show the uniqueness of Yidden. So the shall help from the Taka that we should be mechazik, and wherever we go and we find the Yid, that we should mechazik, the Yidden should marry only Yidden, and should mechazik this, the mechitza between Yidden and the nations of the world, and through that, they will take away the mechitza between Yisrael and Avim Sheshamayim. We should be zeichet again, like the Medrash says, that when Mashiach will come, the Eibishter will again do again the makis, and how exactly there'll be the repeat. But there's plenty of goyim that they're deserving it, and they're waiting for it, and they're begging for it, and the Eibishter will help them to take it from a yad. They should get it.
Amen.